All right. Hey, everybody. Remember, hydrate. Gotta hydrate. Actually, let me pull this a little bit this way. All right, apologize. I'm taking a second to make sure all cameras are working. There we go. Okay. So, here I am. My name is Derek. I am the owner, creator, head silicone slinger for Mfa. And I'm going to be doing at least one pour, maybe two. Depends on how I'm feeling today. So, remember, hydrate. You're drinking your water, right? Okay. All right, TikTok seems to be acting weird. I don't know what's going on over there. We'll check up on it in a little bit. Okay, so I need to do a repour. One of the pieces that I poured yesterday did not, well, I picked the wrong color up. So we need to redo that one. Let me take a second to get my camera. There we go. Okay, so this one, I grabbed the wrong purple yesterday. So these are the colors that I was supposed to use. All right, let's try TikTok one more time, see how they're doing. But these are the colors that I'm supposed to use. We're going to do that in a Strupala. It's going to be an A25. So this is going to be on the firmer end of the spectrum. You guys know what the how the Shore scale works, right? The firmness scale. If not, let me know in the chat and I will explain it. All right. I think I can see the chat. I'm not sure. All right. Let's see. All right. This is 3-color pour. I'm a little discombobulated today. Did not sleep well last night. I don't know why. But so we need 3 cups, 3-color pour. We're going to take a moment and clean our workspace. 99% alcohol. And does a great job of cleaning up silicone, whether it's dry or whether it's still liquid. Uncured silicone, 99% alcohol will cut through that. Do I make my own molds? Who is that? eBlock904 on TikTok, asking if I make my own molds. Yes, I make my own molds. I make my own masters. I make everything from start to finish. So, I need to make sure I get my mold release on here. There we go. And I do need to make note that this is for order number. Oh, there it is. 670. So, if your order number ends in 670, this one is for you. Whenever anybody orders a custom, whether it's they pick one where they pick the model and then they pick the colorway and then the firmness, or if it's a pure custom where they pick the model, the firmness, and all of the different colors, I do those on a live stream. So what I'll do is I'll announce the last 3 digits of the order number. So if you are watching and you see your last 3 digits pop up, that one is for you. So this is for order number 670. And I need to get my silicone ready. So that'll take just a second. By the way, I apologize. My scale is over there, and my cameras are over here, and, well, it takes a... Block with another question. Do I 3D print or do I hand carve my masters? I actually do both. It depends on the shape. Some of them are 3D printed and some of them are hand carved. I've got 2 or 3 that are hand carved and about 3 or 4 that are 3D printed. By the way, if you do have questions, drop them in the chat and I will answer them as I go along. All right, so we got part A and part B here. And Platinum Cure Silicone is a two-part silicone. So you've got part A and part B. And we just want to make sure we get a good mix first. And again, I'm not worried about any bubbles because I'm really kind of mixing this pretty aggressively. All I want to do is make sure I get it all mixed up. Move that out of the way a little bit. Okay. Get the sides scraped. And like I said, this is a 3-color pour, but I've got all of my silicone here. So I'm going to take a second and separate off what I need for each color. There's the first one. And here's the second and third one. Okay. I just want to scrape this down, make sure it all gets down to the bottom there. All right. So let me check my notes. Color number 1 is that one, and those two. All right. Give me a second here. I need to check my email. So I saw a couple of emails pop in, and I just want to make sure they're not from a customer. All right. We're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this purple in. And now all I want to do is I want to just get that kind of mixed in a little bit. Then I'm going to kind of aggressively mix it. Because the one thing we don't want any clumps. We don't want any lumps in this. So we just got to make sure that all that pigment gets incorporated. And I'll show you what that looks like. Now you can see bubbles in there. Bubbles are fine because we're going to vacuum those out in a minute. Now then, we're going to take our red. Like I said, this is an A25, so this is on the firmer end of the scale. Look at that red, just so pretty. Yeah. All right, now we need to get our silver in there. I say it's silver. It's a little bit more of a hematite because it's not really metallic. It's a little bit closer to hematite or maybe a gun blue, gun barrel blue. Gun barrel gray, I don't know. See, it's a nice dark gray, but it's got just a little bit of a bluish tint to it. All right. Now I'm getting ready to vacuum, blah, 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 blah. I can get my mouth to work today. I'm getting ready to drop these into the vacuum chamber. And so that will be a good time for me to answer questions. So if you got questions, drop them in the chat. I like that red. And one of the things about this purple is that it's got like this blue kind of blue iridescence, blue undertone to it. So, all right, enough talking. Let's get these vacuumed out. Just feeling on TikTok asking, is this my job? Yes, it is. I do this for a living. RGB LEDs, huh? That's an interesting idea. But where do you put the battery pack? I mean, LEDs don't require a whole lot of power. So you can actually power those with like a watch battery. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Thank you. Thanks for the roses. What is it? We are making silicone sculptures. Baby goth chick. What got me into sculpting? I've been working with silicone off and on for close to 20 years. Years ago, I started working with silicone for making resin molds, and I was trying to figure out what else I could use that silicone for, and then this popped up. And so about 3 or 4 years, I guess it was about 3.5, 4 years ago, I started kind of diving into this realm, and got into 3D printing, got into hand carving my my masters, and I made a few molds, made a few pieces, and people liked them. So I decided to keep on going with it, and it turned into a business. Hey, just feeling from Germany. How did I get it? What did you say? How did I come to this job? Well, I was kind of just answering that. I've been working with silicone for a long time, and this was a way for me to be a little bit more creative. I mean, making molds for resin casting and things like that is one thing, but this allowed me to kind of dive off into a different direction that allows me to play with, volumes and shapes and color theory and all the different things that come along with art. I mean, to me, this is kind of art. So this was a way for me to feed that creative need and also still make something physical. I've found over the last few years that, maybe the last 10 years or so, that I need to make things. I need to be able to physically make things in order to feel fulfilled, I guess is one way of putting it. Some people like to, code and program and draw and things like that, but I need to physically make things. And so this is a way for me to do that. It's a good business, right? Who is that? Baby goth chick. Well, let me put it this way. With COVID, people are basically sitting at home with not a whole lot to do. And so then they find themselves bored. And this is a great way to not be bored. I missed the question, but I did see it. I didn't see who asked it. Who was it? ML Games. What kind of silicone do I use? Smooth On makes a really good silicone. Their EcoFlex and Dragon Skin lines are both really good to use. All right, so now then, we've got our silicone here. We've vacuumed out all of the air. And what we need to do is this is going to be a kind of what we call a chaos pour or a marbled pour. So I'm going to add this kind of hematite color right on top of that purple. Now, one of the really nice things about silicone is that it is so thick and viscous. I mean, it's like the consistency of warm honey, but that viscosity means that the colors don't mix. It's not like resin. Resin is very watery, and so it has a tendency to blend colors. Silicone, on the other hand, doesn't. Hey, now does everybody know why I vacuum out all the air? Sorry, I'm getting very focused here. All right. If you know why I vacuum the silicone, drop it in the chat. All right, so let me get my other camera going. I'm always trying to record things because it's just so pretty. There we go. And we start recording. And everybody can see this, right? Well, I hope so, because I can't see TikTok. But here we go. And we should see the red come out first, then the silver, and the purple will come out in just a moment here. There we go. And I'm going to grab a squishy mold real quick. And I think I've got enough here for a foot. I might even have enough for a bear, too. All right. And what we do, the squishies are just kind of like little stress toys, if anything. And if you order a custom, we'll try to make a squishy along with any of the excess. And we'll include that with the order, too. All right. Bring that back out. And now, time to sign our artwork. Yes, Krista. And who else is it? Roadkill. You're absolutely right. It stops voids from happening inside the sculpture itself. If we don't vacuum out all the air, we actually end up with something that's more like a sponge than anything. All right, let me give Twitch and YouTube a quick look at this, because it is really pretty. And then I'm gonna bring TikTok in, let you guys see it too. Such pretty colors. This customer did a really good job choosing colors. All right, so we'll set that off to the side. It'll take about an hour and a half to cure. And little pro tip, always keep your cups with your molds. That way, if you ever have to do any troubleshooting, then you'll have your cups there. And, you know, it's kind of like, if it doesn't cure in the cups or the mold, then I know the problem was with the silicone. Either I doubled up on part A or doubled up on part B, or there was some kind of contaminant at the beginning of the process. If it cures in the cups but not in the mold, then that tells me that there's something wrong in the mold. Maybe I used the wrong mold release or something like that. Yeah, those are really pretty colors. I think what I want to do next is I'm going to do one more. Let's do a 3-color pour. And what should we do? How about some suggestions? You got any suggestions for colors? Hey, you're Demon D over on YouTube. Yes, I haven't seen you in forever. But yes, you are correct. Also, the vacuuming removes the voids in the casting. Oh, there was a good question. Who asked that? Lugdefingerin? I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's actually an interesting question. Should you pour it into the mold and then vacuum? Actually, no, because when we vacuum that silicone, it basically doubles in size. So, you know, if it's filled this full, when it vacuums out, it's going to rise to about here. So basically, it doubles in size during the vacuuming process. And if we did that inside the mold, then it would just completely overflow, and then we'd lose almost half of the silicone just to mess. So it's a great question, but there's a reason why we don't do it. Yes, there are 2 drips right there. I'll clean that up here in a minute. I'm going through the color combinations here, so give me just a minute. Oh, thank you for the roses. Oh, neons. We haven't done neons in a while. That's a good answer. I like that. Okay, let's do. How about neon yellow, neon pink? Oh, I need a blue. I don't really have a good neon blue though. Maybe a good green, a good deep dark green. Actually, no. Let's do these 3. We'll do this yellow. We'll do this pink, and then this metallic blue. If I had a good green, where's my... What would go good with this pink and this yellow? I think this will be okay. I'm a little bit concerned because sometimes when we get just that little bit of edge blending between like yellow and dark colors like black or grays, it can kind of turn a little bit muddy. What if we just did these 2? Yeah, actually, we'll do this. We're going to do these two yellow, do yellow and pink, and then we're going to add white to it. And I think that'll be really interesting. So what we'll end up with is this yellow and pink swirl, because I think that's where we're going to go with this. I like this idea. Okay. William over there on YouTube suggesting an orange. Oh, you're Demon D. You'll have to remind me how to pronounce that if I'm saying it correctly or not over on YouTube. Great. I'm glad you got a store going. If you drop a link to it in the chat, I'm happy to give you a shout out. Throw a link into the chat, and I'll make sure I announce it on TikTok as well. By the way, if you're on TikTok, there's a link in my bio. It's amavidi.com/TikTok. And if you hit that link, you'll find links to my YouTube, my Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, my web store, my Etsy store, all the different things that you could ever want. The links are in there. Yeah, the Ignite colors are really nice. Okay. Now, one of the things about these, I'm going to turn off my lights here real quick. I'm going to show you something. Interestingly, the pink is blacklight reactive, and it just glows like crazy. The yellow, not as much, but where's my white? Where's my white go? I had white here for a second. Oh well. The white is slightly blacklight reactive as well. There it is. So you can see that white is blacklight reactive. So when we mix that white into the yellow, we're going to start getting some blacklight reactive yellow out of that. Okay, I kind of wandered off there for a second, but I get kind of excited about colors sometimes. All right, I know what I need to do here. Let me get my silicone together. It'll take me just a moment. I have a spreadsheet set up that does all my calculations for me, so I know how much I need for this particular mold, but I actually blend multiple silicones together to get the firmness that I want. So I'll take a really soft silicone and a really firm silicone and blend them so that I can control the viscosity, I can control the firmness, and I get exactly what I want. All right. So again, I got my part A and part B. Now, people do things a little bit differently sometimes, but I have a tendency to, well, what I almost always do is I mix all my silicone together at once. This way, I know that all of my silicone is going to cure at exactly the same time. So, you know, if I have three colors and I mix this color and then I come over to this color and mix my silicone, get my color in it, then I mix my silicone, get my color in it. These are all going to cure at different times. But if I mix it all together at once, I know it's all going to cure at exactly the same time. It's a little bit trickier though, because, you know, I've got extra steps in there to make sure that I get everything divided out the way I want it to. All right, so what are we going to do here? We're going to do... All right, I think I know what I want to do here. Okay, just going to scrape this down, make sure it's all in there. What brand of pigment am I using for this pour? If I remember correctly, these came from Brambleberry, I think, or it could be TKB. I don't remember. Let's see. Did I miss any questions? How do I clean my cups? So what I'll do on my cups is I will let them cure, and basically they peel out, and it just peels out in one piece like this. And then I'll just wipe them out with alcohol, etc. Now, if it's uncured silicone, then isopropyl alcohol will cut through that very nicely. I think I'm going to use yellow here. All right. We're going to mix that in. Now, one of the things about this yellow, and it's one of the reasons why I chose to add some white to this, is that it's fairly translucent, and I want some opacity. So what I'm going to do is add just a touch of white. This looks like lemon pie. All right, yeah. And that white just gives us just a little bit of opacity. I think I want a little bit more white. It also gives us just a little bit of shimmer to it as well. Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's set that off to the side. Drop our cap back on there. Now, let's see. By the way, almost all of my pigments come in dry. These are so intense that I actually had to water them down. I say water them down, but I use a silicone thinner on the fluorescents, so they have a little bit more control over that mix. Now, the silicone thinner does change the viscosity. I mean, that's kind of what it's designed to do. I'll show you that ink real quick. We'll add just a little bit of white. And that's one of the things you can play with, is the viscosity. And as you change the viscosity, that will change the way that it pours and the way that it marbles and the way that it kind of folds on itself. If it's really thick, you can add thickeners as well. But if it's really thick, then you get these really chunky colors. I say chunky. It's not like they're chunks of silicone, but because it's so thick, it doesn't blend. And if you go real thin, you get much more blending in the colors. But I use just a little bit of, because this pigment is so intense, even if I just add a little bit of this color with silicone thinner in it, it really doesn't change the viscosity too much. But it still gives me the control I need. for being able to get the pigment the way I want. Get the pigment the way I want it. Okay, now let's get these into the vacuum chamber real quick. And as always, when it goes into the vacuum chamber, that's a really good time to ask questions. So get them in the chat. Forklift guy is in the house. Here's Shadow asking about wholesale. Yes, I do wholesale. I do actually have a, there is a company that makes, how do I put this? Holders for the sculptures. If you can imagine something that you might use to hold a sculpture like this, then they make those and they sell my sculptures as well. Redneck Woodcraft asking about brand of silicone. Smooth-On is a really great option. Their EcoFlex line and Dragon Skin line are both really good. What am I making? We are making silicone sculptures. And let me get my mold ready here. Okay. I'm going to trim this a bit. Here we go. This particular sculpture has a bit of a curve to it. So I put a couple of popsicle sticks into the mold, or into the mold frame, in order to straighten it out just a bit. Hey, you're Demon D down on YouTube. Don't forget to throw a link into the chat with your new shop. This particular style is one that I have not released yet. Question from PLTSDEA. I don't use pressure, I use vacuum. You use pressure when you're casting resin. When we're doing silicone, we want to pull the air out. We don't want to compress the air. We want to pull it out, and then we'll pour it into the mold. It's a little bit different thought process. Resin, you can compress so that the air bubbles just disappear. We can't do that with silicone. Technically you could, but this is a much easier way of doing it, is to just pull the air out instead of trying to compress it. What type of sculptures do I do? If you're curious, then hit the link in my bio, amavidi.com/TikTok. And from there you can get to my Twitter and my Instagram, and on there you'll be able to see everything, as well as the web store if you're interested in actually seeing some of the final products. What are we making? Silicone sculpture. What are my molds made out of? I use the same silicone for making my molds as I do for the sculptures themselves. That way I know that everything from start to finish is body safe. Paris Carey, thank you for the love on the sculptures. It sounds like you're trying to get started. I think one of the trickiest parts is that people try to run before they can walk. And in that case, what I would tell you to do is do a very simple design first. Don't go crazy. Just make something that is very simple, that might have a few bulges, but no angles or hooks, and get the process down. And do it so that you can make a mold of it and be very confident that your mold is going to come out correctly. And then once you've done that a few times, then start branching out into kind of the style that you want to go into, whether it's fantasy or realistic or anything like that. But try to go simple first. And then once you've got the process down, then you can start adding to it and figuring out, what's going to trap air, what's going to cause bubbles, where are your how much of an angle can you take and still not have any problems pulling it out of the mold. Make sure that if you have a narrowing spot in it and a wider spot, make sure that the mold is soft enough so that you can get that to stretch when you pull that thicker part out. Somebody asking about how I do my designs. I do a combination. Some of them are 3D printed, and some of them are hand carved. It just depends on the shape and what works best for that shape. I do have some shapes that are very structural, and that lends itself very easily to 3D printing. But I do have shapes that are a little bit more organic, and those have a tendency to be better hand sculpted. All right, let me get my cameras set up here, because we need to get this pour done. All right, we'll bring that back in a second. So here's our yellow. We're going to add our pink to it. All right. By the way, I'm going to pull this out so that you can see how the pink doesn't blend into the yellow at all. Come on. Why won't you turn? Turn back this way. There we go. Okay. So let's get our mold in place. Start the recording. Get our camera over here. And here we go. And we should see the pink come out first, and then the yellow. I don't know if you saw that. It's very subtle, but I can tell that the silicone is thickening up on me, which means that we're getting right to the end of our pot life. I'll get this into squishy mold real quick. Now I'm going to take out my popsicle sticks. And let it return to its normal curve. There we go. And now we're going to sign our artwork. And each of my employees has our own way of doing the art on the base. And so we can tell who poured it, even to a certain extent when it was poured, because you know, signatures change over time. But let's get that in there. Take a look at that. What do you think? I think we did pretty good. Pickle sculptures. That's a really good way of putting it. Oh yeah, Starburst vibes. And yes, it's dangling. It's a dangler. Oh, we got Brand Flakes over on YouTube. How you doing? I apologize, Brand Flakes. I can't really watch both of them at the same time. I try to keep my my chat on YouTube and Twitch over here, and then I have to go to TikTok to see the chat over there. But yeah. Hey, Erotic Effect over on YouTube. Good to see you. By the way, excuse me. If you're on any of, if you're on YouTube or Twitch or even TikTok, if you've got a profile that does sculptures like this, then drop a link in there. I don't mind. Fear Shadow asking, do I have a schedule when I go live? Not really. I do the lives on TikTok during the day because that's when I do all my custom pours. But I also stream those to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Now on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock Central Time on YouTube and Twitch, I do a live AMA. So if you want to join me on YouTube and Twitch, and if you've got questions, that's a session where we really dive deep into certain aspects of it. Maybe it's like one time we dove into the new ISO standard. Yeah, there's an ISO standard for sculptures. We've done stuff about, you know, how do you do pricing? What are the different platforms you can use if you want to set up your own shop? What are some of the issues that you run into if you're selling products like these? Because there are limitations to what you can show and tell and say. Advertising is extremely difficult. So, you know, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time on YouTube and Twitch, that's when I do my AMAs for sure. Random streams, live streams where I'm doing pours happen during the day, and, you know, it just kind of depends on orders and how I'm feeling. What did somebody say earlier? Pickle sculptures. They are pickle sculptures. That's what we're doing. All right, everybody. I'm about done. If you have any other questions, I tell you what, I will hang out for just a few more minutes and answer questions. Brand Flake's asking about George. George is, let's see, I'm trying to remember why. Oh, we've been on hiatus. I say this now. We've been on hiatus over the holidays for the live stream on Sunday nights, the AMAs. And that's just because of the holidays and projects and things going on. But we are bringing it back on this Sunday at 7 o'clock. And George will be there. Who was that? Honey Badger. I'm just trying not to be too spicy. Pickle sculpture is a great way of putting it. I mean, I love it. It's just that sometimes things can get a little too spicy for TikTok. I actually got banned. Well, I didn't get banned. I got suspended on Twitch a couple weeks ago. I've gotten suspended on TikTok as well. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not showing anything vulgar or anything. We're pouring silicone into a mold, and it just so happens that these are pickle shaped. Mama Norman asking about commissioned sculptures. So I don't do custom designs. However, you can take any of the 7 different models that I have, and you can choose the firmness and up to 3 colors. So you can customize any of the models that we have, but I don't do any new designs for somebody. Mama Llama asking about, do we do custom orders? Yes. Like I was just saying, you can customize any of the models that we have by choosing the firmness and up to 3 colors. Inagata Davida. Is that right? Yeah, man, I haven't thought about Inagata Davida in forever. Where do I get my what was it? Where do I get the original mold? I create all of my masters myself, either by 3D printing or hand carving them. And then I make all my own molds as well. Okay, on YouTube, they don't allow links in the chat. So, who was it? eroticeffect.com. You can check them out. Ooh, and you've got sales going too. Awesome. Mama Norma? What's that? Yeah, Mama Norman. Interesting business idea. What was your business idea? All right, I'm gonna get all my silicone together with my molds. Give a little. Here's what we made today. This was a custom for a customer. I used one of the wrong colors yesterday, so I had to report that one. And then this one over here was just kind of a one-off. I decided to do something a little bit random. Whew. All right. By the way, I mean, I'm not a big, I'm not a salesman. I don't do hard sales or anything. I mean, if you want to follow me on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, do it. I mean, I appreciate it. If you like what we do, then you'll see more of it if you follow us. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy to answer questions. Commissions. There are 3D artists out there who do specialize in that kind of thing. Twitter is a really good place to find 3D model artists who can do commissions for you. All right, got to remember to hydrate. All right, everybody's drinking their water, right? Mama Llama asking about how long does it take to set up? These will take about an hour and a half to cure. Tell you what, I've got a couple that I poured yesterday. I can't show them on TikTok. It's just too spicy for TikTok. So what I'm going to do is, after I shut down TikTok, I'm going to keep YouTube and Twitch going for probably another 5 or 10 minutes and answer questions. And on YouTube and Twitch, I can be a little bit more direct about things. I don't have to dance around the spicy topics. but I'll also show you a couple things that I poured yesterday. Ah, okay. There's another one, DevTech Creations on Etsy. They're another creator who is getting started in this little category, shall we say. Yes, my name is the same on YouTube and Twitch. Mfa Vidi, Amavidi. Hey, I feel like a little bit of a nudge, I guess, because I've taken a few people from, they keep talking about they want to start getting into this business, and I think I've gotten at least 3 or 4 people into this business and shared as much as I possibly can, and it's great to see folks who are getting creative and doing things in a world that is so crazy right now. And I think we need more creativity. I think we need more folks out there who are willing to be honest and be show who they are and not be scared to be who they are. All right, so last questions. All right, TikTok, it's been great. It's been fun. Let's do this again sometime, and I will see you later. Bye. And now, let me make sure TikTok is gone. All right. So we got TikTok is gone now, so we can be a little bit more spicy. Let's see here. Can I get? Yes, Bran Flakes. Too much spice, and as they say in the Dune movies, the spice must flow. All right. Let me grab some gloves real quick. I'm gonna grab some gloves, and then I'm gonna pull a couple of things out of the hot pot. All right, Erotic Effect. Awesome to see you're doing a shop, and DevTech Creations on Etsy. Great to see you guys are doing stuff. I love it, and I'm definitely gonna have to check out what it is that you guys are doing. All right. Oh, you want to see an epic fail? I'll show you an epic fail here. This. Right. Hey, Crystal, good to see you from TikTok. I was just showing him a epic fail. This is one I did a long time ago, and I just kept it as a reminder of how things can go wrong. And this is what happens when you use either too much deadener or slacker, or you use the wrong silicone. You can end up with, let's see, this, I mean, this thing is just like a noodle. It's a whole new epic, a whole new level of epic. Yep. Okay, so let's grab a couple of things out of the hot pot real quick. All right, so this was from yesterday. This is a Dorian Gray Metropole. in A25, if I remember correctly. So this is fairly firm. Give you a sense. This is actually the same model, same size and everything, and it has no stand up. It's all flop. So you can see the marbling there, and everything has a flared base. So if it's got that flare, it can go there. I got to be careful because I think that's what got me suspended on Twitch recently, was that I just left a toy on the table and walked away for a while. But this one, I love. This is a Strupula, by the way. So this is about 6.5 inches long, 3-inch base, perfect for if you need a harness. Then this is basically all of my toys have a flared base that's perfect for harness or anything else. And you can see there's that silver and then the purple and then the red. And you can really see just how that marbling looks. All right. And then here's another one. This is a model that hasn't been released yet. And this was red, silver, and teal. And this is just a little bit longer than the Strupula. So I think this one is about 7.25 inches long total. And it's a little bit, again, it's representational but not realistic. The ridges behind the head. The shaft of it is actually pentagonal. You can see these flaps on it. And again, flared base. If you're looking for a harness, rodeo.com, RODEOH. So it's the word rodeo with an H at the end, .com. They sell harnesses, really cute harnesses too. So if you're looking for anything like that, they can help you out. All right, and let's see. DevTech talking about to Model and Supply Shop today. Got Ease Release 200. Really good. That's a really good mold release. It's what I use. Dragon Skin 10 Slow and NV. Okay, I want you to be careful about the NV. I don't remember the specifics, and this is the reason why I don't use the NV, which NV stands for no vacuum. The NV can cause cure inhibition with certain smooth-on silicones. And I don't remember which ones. I can't remember if it's EcoFlex, but it can cause cure inhibition. So be careful and do some tests before you go crazy with that NV. Yeah, Erotic Effect, I'm happy to do the shout outs. The other one that I like that does a lot of good work is Mfa Designs. I think, I can't remember if they're on Etsy or if they've got their own website now, but Mfa Designs is another really good one. They have a TikTok as well. So there's another one on TikTok, Freak with a PH. I think if you search TikTok for Freak, PHREAK, then you'll find them as well. And they do a lot of fantasy style pickle sculptures, as we started calling them. But they do a lot of fantasy dildos as well. And this guy is just such a trip. It's just such a fail. I have a bucket of fails, but I always keep that one out because he's just so funny. You are absolutely correct. This cap and this straw are mine. The mayonnaise release does not come with that. I actually stole that from something else, but it makes it a lot easier to get into that mold to yeah, okay, yep. Erotic effect, yeah, you're right. I guess you're kind of backing me up there, and that Envy risks inhibition with all the other smooth-on platinum silicones. And I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure what would cause that. Which also makes me wonder, I don't know. I really don't know. Since we got a couple of new folks who have just joined us, I will show you some of the things that I just pulled out of the hot pot. This is a Metropole in Dorian Gray, A25. The funny story on this one is that when it was first designed, this colorway was first put together, we called it the Bloody Knife. This is a mistake. I used the wrong color purple down here for customers, so I had to repour that, and that's what we repoured today. This is a Strupula in A10 or A25. And then this is a new model that hasn't been released yet. And this is red and silver and teal. And yeah. So yeah, that mistake, it still looks great, and it'll go up on the store eventually, but it's not what the customer ordered, so I can't send it to them. All right, any other questions? Anybody else I need to give a shout out to? Brand Flakes, have you started your own shop yet? And while I'm waiting for questions, I will remind you that I do an AMA on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock on YouTube and Twitch. And again, since it's on YouTube and Twitch only, I can be a little bit more spicy. I can actually talk about the fact that we're making dildos and we're not making pickle sculptures. And that's a great time for us to get into kind of the weeds of it all. You know, when you're looking at pigments, how do you know if a pigment is body safe, or what are some of the brands that you can look at if you're looking for pigments? How do you, what chemicals do you look for on the MSDS? You know, what's the difference between tin cured silicone and platinum cured silicone? Various techniques of blending, and I'm gonna call them pickles now anyway. Yeah. You know, when you're blending silicones, what can you do to use the properties that you're trying to achieve? Things like that. So yeah. Anyway, with that, I am out, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Oh, okay, there was a question. Is working with silicone easier than epoxy? That's a really hard question for me to answer, because I think that silicone is easier in certain aspects because it's a lot easier to control color. With epoxy resins, it's a lot harder to control the flow of colors. But silicone, it's a lot easier. Also, with silicone, it's a little bit trickier because you can have problems with um, cure inhibition. Platinum cure silicone is very sensitive in the sense that there are a lot of things that will cause it to not cure. Anything from temperature being too low, or if you use the wrong kind of mold release, or like we were talking earlier about the NV no vacuum silicones from Smooth On. There are a lot of things that can keep that silicone from curing, and so you kind of have to be careful in that sense. But once you put the boundaries around yourself, um, like tinted silicones are not body safe, and they can cause cure inhibition in platinum cure silicones. So if you use the same tools with a tin cure silicone, and then you go and use those tools with a platinum cure silicone, you can have problems. Now, I don't allow tin cure silicone in my studio. My employees have tried to bring it in. I'm like, nope, it just doesn't even come in, because I don't want to use anything, or I don't want to have anything around me that's not body safe. And also, I just don't want to take the risk of, if I've got $1,000 worth of silicone, I don't want it to get contaminated in some way and lose all of that silicone. So, yeah. Resin, also, I do a lot of resin casting, but I use very fast curing resins, and like 3-minute pot life and 30-minute demold. So my experience with resins is probably a little bit different than other people's, just because of the kind of resin that I use. I use a lot of Smooth On resins. The Onyx Fast is a really good one. The 305 and the 325 are really good. They're also not very humidity sensitive. One of my problems that I've had with resins is that they have a tendency to absorb humidity from the air, and that causes problems. The 305 and the 325 and the Onyx don't seem to have that problem. I've used other resins that did. We got all my molds for my inclusions yesterday. Good. Need to do more stuff on the business side, though. That's one area that is a soft spot for me. I love talking about the business side of this. I have certain perspectives that not everybody agrees with, but they work for me, and I'm happy to share those. And that's one of the things we get into on the Sunday night AMAs. Ooh, erotic effect, working with composites. I have a real love for carbon fiber, and I would love to be able to do some designs, not for this business, but I would love to be able to explore and play with carbon fiber. But I think there's a equipment boundary that I'm gonna have to come up against. So, okay. So with that, I think I am done. We will do this again. Thanks, everybody. Have a good time. Bye.